The people of Reddit were asked, deaf people of Reddit, how scary is farting in public?
Before we start, make sure you smash the subscribe button along with the tiny bell icon so you get updated every time we post new videos. Done? Great, let's start this video.
Don't Read My Handle says, not nearly as scary as when I found out getting an erection makes a loud noise. Drifting Drifter says, I have deaf family, so growing up meant going to the deaf club every weekend, big event, etc. Being a child at butt height in a room full of deaf adults who casually rip ass because no one can hear who dealt it was traumatic. Hypnochild says, my dad is deaf and every summer we go group camping with many other deaf people. One particular year I was hanging out with my dad's girlfriend at the time and some of her deaf friends. In the middle of the conversation she let a huge one rip. I was the only hearing one in the group and we were outdoors, so really I was the only one who knew. After the conversation was over she asked me if I had heard her fart and we had a pretty good laugh about it. Ferret Sultan says, real answer, I go to the bathroom if I feel like I'm going to. Don't want any mishaps. Stern Lecture says, a friend of mine works with deaf people and says they fart all the time whenever wherever because they have no idea it makes a sound. What I don't get is they don't feel that terrible internal rumble and release all that pressure and let her rip and stink out of place but think it's okay because they can't hear it? Buffalo Love says, as a teacher, I'm accustomed to junior high kids farting. But today was something special. An 8th grader who has a hearing aid farted in class and it was really loud, and it smelled like decaying flesh. He happened to be sitting near the shelf where I run my essential oil diffuser, and the scent of his fart mixed with the orange scent I had going, and created its own new concoction. It lingered for quite a while too. I'm still shuddering thinking about the stench I had to pretend to ignore. GFY_ADOOM says, it doesn't seem to bother my deaf 6-year-old, I'm not sure if that's because he's deaf or 6. Verdict is still out on that one. The _deaf_guy says, my group of deaf friends let it rip whenever they want, but I suspect it's because they don't give a fuck. I hold it in and wait for a good time with no one around. I have to say I did rip a beast of a fart when I thought no one was around, not knowing that someone was rounding the corner. He looked like a bomb victim approaching the mushroom cloud and I didn't wait around to see his reaction to the smell. Bunched Up Walrus says, I once farted in an empty elevator, just as the door was about to open and I was going to get off instead. It was an extended fart. And someone was there. And they watched me finish the fart. Needless to say, I got off right then. The look of betrayal in their eye kept me away from elevators for a good week or so. It's because I'm _____ says, I'm late to the show, but I feel I absolutely must share. When I met my now wife, I had a real understanding of the ramifications of her hearing loss. I knew she was partially deaf, and that we needed subtitles for television. Through our relationship I learned oh so much more. One thing in particular, I learned I could blame any flatulence on the dog easily. Now, originally, I thought this was strictly smell-related. But as I came to understand, I could fully rip one in front of her, so long as I didn't lift a butt cheek, she wouldn't suspect me for a second. Fast forward. I am regularly in the home letting loose loud farts, not smelly, but not sneaky. At all. Turns out, I oftentimes forget that in public, not everyone is deaf. Silent may not be deadly, but loud farts can be heard by normal people. And judged accordingly. Shit. The _Sown_Rose says, if you fart in a crowd but don't hear it, did you even fart at all? TDA Snowman says, this would make more sense for blind people. Deaf people may not be able to hear it, but they can look around and make a judgment call. Blind people basically have to guess how many people are around by sounds. A library, for instance, would be a tough call to make. Buses might only be the driver or the whole back of the bus could be full. Trolley or subway. Some routes it's a crapshoot. Packed car or not, and everybody trying to make as little noise as possible cause nobody wants to be noticed. Scottish Kiwi Dan says, not deaf but I do have congenital anosmia, which means I have had no sense of smell since birth. It's difficult to appreciate the issue of farting when I can't fathom smell. I tend to just let them go and hope no one notices. Technically, it can never be me who dealt it since I can't have smelt it. T. Rui Jenkins says, there is a deaf guy that I work with. He takes the loudest shits. Like you can tell he is pushing as hard as he can. I wanna tell him but that shit's too hilarious. Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you next time when we cover another interesting topic.